What's interesting is over the course of thousands of years, when we got rid of certain tasks, we created more jobs. I know this is antithetical, but I'll give you an example. The wheel shows up in a town where there were two big guys who carried stuff up the hill, and now the wheel shows up, and one of them says, "My entire life is over." Well, actually, what he missed is that particular task is over because the second guy went and got a second wheel, built a cart, right, and then pulled more things up the hill and actually made more money than he did before the wheel, which is really fascinating, right? These could have been women too, right? But probably they were big burly guys at the time. So then we look at someone like General Motors. General Motors put in the first industrial robot on their line in 1961. First industrial robot in 61, robotics. Today they have hundreds of thousands of robots on their line, and they employ more people than they ever did, and they're able to get a car out the door for, call it, $20,000, which would, if there were no robotics, cost $300,000 to build today. So they brought down the relative cost of the car, so did every other car manufacturer, by adding robotics, meaning that more people could buy cars, meaning that the companies themselves could get larger because they're selling 10 or 20 or 30 times more cars than if cars were $200,000 to $300,000 today. This is fascinating, right? And that's what automation has continued to do. And automation drives down the cost of goods and services, which drives up the consumption of goods and services, which is great for the overall economy, and it makes all of us much, much more productive. But the tasks of, say, I need to turn this screw on this line, or I need to paint this by hand, no longer exist at General Motors on a car line. There are robots that do that. But because there are so many more cars sold, they need to employ more people than they did in the past. This is a pretty fascinating thing when you look at it, right? But the point of 2050 is that we will get to a point where almost all of the tasks that humans could do could be done better by robotics and artificial intelligence.